True indeed. Now, what was it, a known known or unknown known? Let me know in the comments. I don't know if you're familiar with what I guess. That's my commie. Uh,
I was like,
Zotanica.com,
whoop, what did you
which is a
say?
great.
I thought Lukey
Yeah,
was having a stroke.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that no or the no, the unknown
That's that
Known
no?
daddy
known
juice.
or
The,
That's
unknown
that
known.
daddy juice
I'm
getting
like
to
the
him, man.
what? What's
Let
a
me know. Let me
no?
know.
Can you hear me?
I just don't want to miss anything, so we're rolling.
Oh,
Rolling. All right, we ready to
Rolling,
go.
right in there.
But Lukey will kick us off. So
Yeah, give me 1 second. You know what I'm saying? And more than a second. Hold on. Let me turn my shit on. What you call that shit?
Imperative, what's up, man?
I'm
Do not
chilling,
disturb.
man. Chilling.
Got to turn that shit on. Do not disturb.
I'm in the work week right now, so I got 2 more days left, and then I'm gonna head down to Toronto. I'm gonna check out Scratch Bastard's barbecue. Alchemist is supposed to be
Shit.
there.
oh,
And then right after that, literally, so that I think that event's like 2 to 10, and then after that it's Crime Apple, and that's put on.
Oh, yeah, that's this weekend?
Yeah, they're both right after each other. So ASUN's team is putting that on. So he thinks there's going to be a lot of crossover, a lot of people going from the barbecue over to that after. So
I bet.
should be a good weekend to be in Toronto.
definitely.
Hell yeah, yo.
My brother's up there right now.
Oh, yeah?
Word.
Yeah, they were there for the F1 race.
Okay. I didn't even know. I'm just outside of Toronto. I'm in London, Ontario.
Oh, I know.
It's one of those things where, you just say you're from Toronto just because no one knows what the hell London, Ontario is.
Yeah.
I drive through London.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, shit. I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, being a real Christian kid, they had this show called Circle Square.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Circle Square, Carl?
Yep.
Circle Square wants to hear from you. They said, Swan, Ontario. So they had the address.
Yep.
I think they were based out of I thought it was London, England, but it was Ontario.
No, it was London, Ontario.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that shit's bugged out, yo. Boom,
All right, so
here we
kick
are.
us off. Yeah, kick us off.
Yeah. If y'all go research Circle Square, some like cults.
This was
Christian shit.
1974 to 1986. So I was born in 85. So I maybe caught some reruns or something, but yeah, it doesn't sound.
I caught reruns as well. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. But you didn't miss nothing, G.
No.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all, man. Nothing at all. But everybody out there, you are in tune to the Abyss Podcast, episode issue 153. Shout out to Fleet Lord. Last week it was excellent. Carl, I see you have the hockey jersey on.
That's right. I got to take care of my Canadian brethren when they come on. So,
True indeed.
and I see you're wearing a dope Abyss shirt there. We rarely call out your fly clothes, but you got it going on there.
Yeah, thank you, man. The back just feels so wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not heavy, but it's like, and I
Still
washed it like
super
20
vibrant
times.
too.
Yeah, 20 washes.
Good merch.
Primo Jet, what you got on? What's that?
Man, I got this fine art of MK shirt, not like us shirt. Drake's on trial. Kendrick's.
I didn't catch that at first.
Yeah. Fine art of MK. I have another one that'll pop up in the future.
Nice.
It was quite a he does these comic parody shirts of various hip hop and R&B and rock music events and albums and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check out his site, Fine Art of MK.
Definitely. I need to ask imperatives or comic book questions here. But fuck, if y'all don't know who we got here, we got imperative from fucking Canada, Toronto, London, Toronto area. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Yeah. As y'all know, the Canadians really were instrumental in pushing this culture forward when it first started. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them were actually the ones that actually, like, they had the better beats, the better production. Future Wave and them guys, this Daniel Son, A-Son, all the Brown Bag Money guys, they was really just on it before we was on it. Yeah. So imperative, how are you doing, my brother? How are you, my guy?
I'm good, man. And I'll on that note, I'll say too, I think Toronto was ahead on that too. Then like I was out in Vancouver kind of during that time, like when all this was like kind of getting going again. And Vancouver's like West Coast sound is just very different. I was making these type of beats, like those grimy underground beats back then. No one out there really wanted them. Everyone was on that hype shit. They wanted, 808 high BPM and that. So I kind of had to switch up a little bit, just kind of, get known at least, but I always stayed true. It's funny, like, it's 2024 and I'm still like getting rid of beats that I made back in like 2013, like.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
Make classic music, it's going to last, right?
That's right. Yeah, it has no expiration.
True indeed. So let's take it back to Genesis, man. Like, has that always been your name?
Imperative? Yeah, more or less. When I uploaded my first beat to SoundCloud, I needed a name, and I'd come up with this name in my head. It was going to be a clothing brand. It was going to be a skateboard store, and then I just had this like name. It was a brand essentially that was just in the back of my mind. So when I went to upload beats, I hadn't used it yet, and decided that was what it would be, and it's kind of worked out because when people rap, it's like a unique word and vocabulary. So then they, they want to spit it into their bars. So it kind of gets that branding out there. Nice. People always ask about the apostrophe. It kind of like throws them, and it gets them. So I spell it the way it's pronounced, not the way it's actually properly spelled. So just to throw people off. And when I was looking up the definition, and when I looked it up, underneath was it was like square bracket IM apostrophe P upside down ERETIV square bracket. And it just looked like a logo right off the jump. So
that's spelling. Yeah.
So before my music, I come from like a multimedia design. I have a diploma in multimedia design. So I come from like a, heavy graphic design, brand marketing sort of background. So that's really something I employ into my music.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sure indeed. That's wild, yo. So 2013 is when you was uploaded. That's when you was
even before that, it was like 2009, 2010. It was like
MySpace era.
Yeah, I think I was just at the end of it. I was at the end of it so it was like the transition from MySpace to SoundCloud.
True indeed. Oh shit, they had SoundClick before
oh yeah,
SoundCloud.
SoundClick was out there. I never had a SoundClick. No, never had.
Me either. But
that was like the Reverb Nation too. You had everyone like go.
Reverb. I still have a Reverb Nation account.
Yeah. I still see people and they're like, "Yo, I'm number one on Reverb Nation." It's like, yeah, that doesn't mean much.
Everybody's number one in Reverb Nation. They just filter the categories weird.
Yeah.
So indeed. So how long you been out of it? So how long you been at it, yo? Like boom.
Let's say 14 years now, well over a decade. I started off with an artist. I was lucky. So I started making beats, and I think I picked up on it pretty quick. And then I linked with a rapper who could actually rap. His name was Jay West. He quit kind of 2015, but linking with an artist that knew how to rap, had bars, we kind of like we're kind of rising. We were opened up for Redman, Action Bronson, Cameron. We were doing all these big things. We were actually going to be the first act. I was his DJ hype man, and we were going to be the first act paid by like the major promotion in Vancouver. And then he decided to quit. So that kind of threw me for a loop. And then it's tough. And I think a lot of people, like, I see it on a day-to-day basis. And I mean, it's not like it doesn't go through my head either. It's like, this is a tough industry, right? Like I work a 9-to-5 job. And so if people aren't seeing that monetary return, and, everyone they have different aspirations and goals. Jay West wanted to have a family, and, I still wanted to keep doing this music. I have to have a creative outlet no matter what. So, I work 9-to-5, I come home, and then I'm on the beat machine 5 to 9. So, it's just a passion, and I just got to do it,
Understandable, man. You ever heard of a kid named Minty Burns?
I know that name. I do know that name. But I can't remember why.
Is that MySpace? I had beef with him. I met him in real life, and he kind of got shook. At remember a festival called A3C down here?
Yes, yeah.
I saw him at A3C.
Okay.
Like he was shook.
Feel like I know that name too. Now that you say it.
So and I told my homie, I told Young Dirty Bastard in Els, I told him, I said, yo, this Minty Burns, I have beef with him on on MySpace. Yeah, this Minty Burns. He's from Canada. he like turned real red. I was like, yo, Canada got heat.
Canada really does have heat, but here's the thing: Canada doesn't support it.
There you go.
Right. Like, then that's why you have like, Danielson, he does a lot of traveling down. Raz Fresco was just down with DJ Muggs. Right. Yes. But yeah, Canada just doesn't have like the infrastructure, and we don't have like the urban culture. Canada is still a relatively new country as well. Like if you want to put it that way, if we really want to dig deep into it. But yeah, Canada doesn't support. Like if I look at my streaming numbers and things like that, it's like US first, Canada second, and then everywhere else. But there's little small pockets of people that support. But it's definitely an interesting scene.
What you mean? It's a new country though. What you mean by that?
Well, I think the U.S. is older. I don't. Maybe I'm getting my history wrong. I think Canada's only like just over 150 years old. U.S. is how old?
Well,
they go Carl
200 something.
It'll be 200 something this year, or in 2076.
USA.
This actually came up before, and I got it wrong, so I'm gonna Google it.
We got.
We started in 1776, right? So 1776 to 1876 is 100. 18 to 19 is 200. 19 to 20 will be 300. So we're 24 right now. So we're like 250 years old, something like that.
So yeah, Canada's 157 this year.
Yeah.
Canada Day is actually next week. I'm doing a beat set.
Damn.
Yeah.
What's cracking? What's cracking for Canada Day? What y'all do for that? Like, do y'all like slap the shit out of beavers?
No.
Drink gallons of motherfucking maple syrup.
Mayonnaise and French fries.
Yeah, we get in our igloo.
Oh no, that's poutine.
Yeah, the poutine, the gravy, and the cheese curds.
You have to tackle a moose and wrestle a grizzly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there you go.
And then cut down 2 trees and then throw some logs, and you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we we got to do a little prayer at the Wayne Gretzky statue.
Of course. Okay.
Shit, Wayne Gretzky.
Jordan.
I thought Wayne Gretzky was from America.
Definitely from Canada.
No. Okay, so here's how great Wayne Gretzky is in Canada.
Wayne Gretzky.
So for my 40th birthday, my sister decided to flood my Facebook page with pictures of me as a child, and the worst pictures. And there's a picture of my sister and I, and it looks like we're posing for like some Jordache jeans commercial or something in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I'm like 10 or something. And it's really, it's gross. The picture's gross. And I'm in the middle, like I was in a heavy metal band. So like all these people that follow my heavy metal band are looking at these fucking retarded pictures of me. And my saving grace was I had Wayne Gretzky on my t-shirt. So I was like, it can't be bad because the great one's there.
Great one's on there. Yeah.
Great one, man.
Instantly got a pass.
He's definitely Canadian.
Yeah, he's definitely Canadian.
He's definitely.
I mean, that makes sense. Obviously, I don't know why that comes as such a shock to me. But I feel like how I know Wayne Gretzky, like the Kings.
But he started in Edmonton,
crazy, right? That was Edmonton, LA, right?
He started in Edmonton.
Was he an Edmonton Oiler first?
LA Kings was his retirement tour.
Yeah.
Nah.
Was that? Okay. He was already established. He was already dope at that point.
What up to the cat?
Yeah, she back there.
Piece of the cat.
He was on St.
Every
Louis
producer's
Blues.
got a cat.
Brent Hull was on the Blues.
Blues was when he was done. Brent Hull.
Yeah, Brent Hull was on the Blues.
Yeah. That's my guy, yo. Then Grant Fuhr. You know what I'm saying? He took off his helmet. Said he got curly hair. That dude's black. He's like, holy shit, he is black. Word. That's my favorite player. Not only was the Blues my home team, that was like, oh, we got a black goalie. What the fuck? God wants me to go to the arena and watch these fucking hockey games right there with the glass, and I was terrified.
Man, there was this
you were terrified.
This cartoon.
They slap it to the glass for you right there.
It's an aggressive fast-paced game. Yeah,
it's way better. It's way better live than on TV.
I mean, I think any sport's way better live. Like, you go to a baseball game. Baseball, like paint drying when you watch it on TV.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anyone, but you go to a live game, then you're just drinking and having a good time,
That's exactly.
But for people that aren't familiar with hockey, if they watch it on TV, they can't follow it at all because it's so fast paced. And like my wife wasn't a big hockey fan. But I took her to a Thrashers game down here when we had the Thrashers, and she instantly fell in love with it. She's like, "Oh, this is way different when you can see everything."
And everyone's yelling different. And
oh yeah.
It's so cold in there though.
I used to play up until what was it? It was in high school. I quit.
Do you have a favorite sport?
Me too.
What's that?
Lukey, what did you say?
No, go ahead. He was listening to you talk about playing hockey in high school, man. Go for it.
Yeah. I used to play up until
My bad. I was lagging.
Oh, that's all good. Yeah, I used to play up until high school. I was playing like rep hockey, so it's like a little bit above. And then the coach was trying to send people out to fight, and it wasn't like I was more of like I was a grinder. I was in the corner, and he would like go out and slash that guy, and I was like, nah, I'm not really about that. So then that's when I got into snowboarding. So, yes,
I played defense, and I was kind of an enforcer.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm not very big to begin with, but like I could lay out like big guys.
I was a chunky kid.
Pause.
Oh, good pause. Good pause.
The homie G4 Jag might be watching this, and if he caught that, I'd be like done, So
yeah, Stars Coleman would have caught that too. Hey, yo, man, the butcher coming. You butcher too. That's funny.
Yes. Huh? Yeah, my actual name is Nate Butcher. So
yeah, the butcher coming. You say that when you're making love to your wife.
Shout out the boy.
The butcher coming.
Yikes.
I used to have an email tagline in my snowboard days. It was like, "Stay wild, peel out, quote, butcher the babes." And then someone sent me a package and they put that on there. It said, "Butcher the babes." I just had this box up there and I had this woman over and she's like, "Butcher the babes." Eh? I'm like,
yeah. Yep. That could go a ton of ways. So you skateboard too, because you wanted to have the skateboard shop.
Yeah.
Along with the music and stuff, man. So we snowboard, that translates very well.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say I do it as much anymore. I'm pretty old these days. I'll get hurt. Snowboarding is crazy expensive. Like when I used to do it, everything was paid for. Like I'd get free boards, free passes, and everything like that. Now trying to do that, it's like it's not worth it. Yeah. It's not the same thrill really going out. Like, I was jumping off cliffs, I was hitting rails and stuff like that. Just go ride down the hill. It's not the same anymore. So, and skateboarding, I mean, if you go out and skateboard, I take one fall, I'm done, I'll be out for a week.
Especially if you ain't doing it for a while.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah. So
I still catch the clips on Instagram though. I'm that old guy watching and be like, oh, those damn skateboarders.
Yeah. And now, but now if you go back out there, you got to take it easy. Because that's when you hurt yourself. It's like playing basketball. I play basketball still, like real competitive basketball. Like if you take off too long and you try to go out there, that's when you hurt yourself. Pull a hamstring, you be out for like 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, it's also you don't recover as fast. Yeah,
not at all, man. You bleeding out too.
You gotta get them stretches in.
Yeah,
yes. Stretching is key.
Yeah. Me and my daughter do that every morning. We did that right there. Go like this. Go like this. Yeah, all that good shit, yo. You born in 85, I was born in 83. So we right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely right there. High school together.
pretty much.
So, do you like comic books too? Cause I see your instrumental albums always have that comic book, like the little ad in there, like your say like how much it costs and shit.
Right.
Like the 80s comic books and stuff like that.
Corner.
Like, yeah, info corner.
Info corner? Is that the legit?
Oh, I don't know. That's just what I call it.
Pricing.
That's where all the information is. It's the date. It's the date. It gives you generally a face picture of each of the heroes that's in the comic or who the comic's about.
No, that sounds legit. No, I wanted it to just be as authentic as possible, look like a comic. And again, that kind of comes into the branding thing. I'm looking at it as like a long-term thing. And if I keep doing the comic books there, when I get to issue 10, I want to actually release a comic book with it. With an action figure, kind of get into that like Scarface, Doom like realm in terms of merch, right?
Yeah.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. So I just got to build that brand and keep seeing it. Then it can be an actual thing, and people hopefully look forward to it and kind of expand the merch game with that.
So indeed, that's a great idea, man. You said this two of my favorites, Doom and Scarface. That's two of my favorites right there, yo. Shout out Esoteric, man. He's doing big things. Boss. Yeah. I'm hogging an interview. Wait, doing big things.
Pause?
So remember, I'm not homophobic, so I can pause anything sexual, anything. Yeah, we doing it. Pause.
So you mentioned you were in Vancouver. Were you born on the West Coast?
No, I was born in Ontario.
Okay.
I was moved around a lot as a kid with my dad's job. Last place I was living, 2008, was London, Ontario, and then moved out to BC for 11 years. Came back to Ontario, and then, as fate would have it, now I'm back in London, Ontario. So,
okay,
yeah,
nice.
BC,
so a lot of times I'll say I'm from Vancouver just because that's where I started music. Otherwise, I have to get into the whole thing like I'm doing now. I was born in Ontario, moved there, started, So a lot of times when like just keep it simple for music, I say my hometown is Vancouver, but currently living in Ontario.
Well, I think it makes a difference because, obviously in the early age, it's kind of when you build your musical style, from what you listen to. And, it's also a time in hip hop where West Coast and East Coast were drastically, I mean, they're still different, but drastically different, like polar opposites in hip hop. So, that's dope.
Yeah, I think it too. I mean, you got to show love to the people that supported you and help you get to where you were. And that was Vancouver, right? So, I got a lot of love for Vancouver. I still got a lot of support out there. So shout out to Vancouver.
Definitely.
So indeed. What's the nicer place out there? I know Toronto got its slums and shit like that. They got their problems. I know London, Ontario. I don't really know that much about it.
British Columbia, cutthroat too.
Yeah, Montreal.
I mean, everywhere in Canada's got its pockets of like places that are like really beautiful, like naturally wise. Like if you go to British Columbia, you walk out your front door, you're staring at 3 mountains. That's like like there's there, and then you're right on the ocean. Like I used to ride my bike, pick up a 6-pack of Hey Y'all, they're like spiked iced teas, hit the beach for an hour, ride back home, make beats. You know what I mean? It's a very different lifestyle. It's kind of Cali like, you know what I mean? Ontario, if you go out to the Muskoka area, that's like cottage life and that. London's called Forest City. That's the nickname here. So I mean, there's a lot of forest around it. But interesting stat, I guess London has the most serial killers or something like that. Something weird like that. So that's an interesting little statistic. Now I gotta be careful with the whole Butcher the Babes thing because people are gonna be like, "He's from
man, like, wait a minute, yeah, they looking for you, bro."
Yeah. And now I'm on some lists. They're gonna be watching me.
Exactly. Yeah, but you got a built-in excuse. You go, "It's in the water. I'm in London.
Yeah,
sorry."
Yeah, exactly.
No. What did you expect?
That is wild. I heard that out here in Marietta, is murder suicide capital of the world. That's what they say. I was like, nah.
Oh wow.
They really got capitals for everything. Like this is the murder capital. This is a serial killer
capital. Capital. Yeah. London, Ontario.
Isn't that where Chris Benoit killed himself and his family though?
Yeah.
Isn't that down here in Georgia?
Was it
Chris Benoit?
I don't know. He was originally from Canada.
I think he did that. I'm pretty sure he did that in Smyrna.
I got to look up. Maybe he was from London.
Yo, I feel bad.
He's from London and was down.
You got a call?
He took the family on vacation.
Damn, bro.
Come on, I got the perfect spot to visit.
Yeah.
Yo, I told my daughter
known for a lot of things.
No, he was born in Montreal.
Yeah, he was born up there, but where did
he died in Fayetteville, Georgia?
I feel like
it was Fayetteville.
Oh, Fayetteville. Okay.
He looks like a Frenchman.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fayetteville is a scumbag town.
Yeah, he do. I'm looking at him right now, man. Like, oh man,
I loved him when I was a kid, though. He was awesome.
Poor Benoit.
He just wanted a steak.
All I wanted was a Pepsi, and she wouldn't give it to me. All I wanted was a Pepsi, and she wouldn't give it to me. Are y'all familiar with that?
Suicidal tendencies?
Yeah, that's the best. Everybody out there, word, imperative.
Poor Mike.
Search. Yeah.
I know Suicidal Tendencies, but I don't know the song, I'll be honest.
The song is called Institutionalized.
Yeah.
And, and they break it down in that song. They say the exact same words. All I wanted was a Pepsi, and she wouldn't give it to me. All I wanted was a Pepsi. Yeah. I'm like, yo, that was the best line ever. So God rest the soul, Brielle Taylor. She overdosed on heroin and died, but she introduced me to Suicidal Tendencies. I was like, yo, this is the best shit ever, yo. Holy shit.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and the first thing that came up was the dictionary definition of institutionalized, and you should see the pronunciation of that. I could not have used that as a producer name.
Hey, yo, man, they think you're crazy. Oh, my shit is so crazy. I'm to be institutionalized.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Some hipster kids would probably buy that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, it'd be like a Chris Crack song title.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm sure there's a metal band already called that.
Yeah, oh, probably.
Yeah. Speaking of Chris Crack, you got a whole bunch of features from the homies. You know what I'm saying? Like you work with mad motherfuckers out here, son. Like mad motherfuckers. Like boom, 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 and it just keeps on going. You know what I'm saying? Word. Like
those are the ones that end up like doing something. It's the ones that just keep going. Like that's my whole thing. Is you just got to do it. You just got to make music, right?
Yeah.
You just do it for you. Like Crime Apple is another one. I was listening to his new album. That dude's put out so much music recently.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is crazy.
2CB is that album that the Pink Panther cover. Is that the one you're talking about? Or
that's what I was talking about. Yeah,
the one that he did with Big Ghost.
I was just listening to the new Pink Panther one.
Just came out. Him and Michelangelo. Yeah, him and Michelangelo did that. Michelangelo went crazy with the production. I mean, yeah, Crime Apple's going crazy this year. He's definitely
is that 3 or 4 this year?
He has a point that he's trying to prove.
Yeah, I think he's at like 4 this year already.
4.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's 4
on a run.
Yeah, I mean, definitely is. I was leaning towards some UFO Thief.
Rapper of the year. And Fredo. Fredo Starr just put out that dope album.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that shit's dope too.
Shout out on.
I mean, it's been a lot of crazy. Yeah, Fredo's. I mean, his production was really like on display on that album, man. Your man just put an album. Vega 7 just put an album. I know you. You and Jay Roberts. God. You and Jay Roberts put out an album, and Vega was on that shit. Yeah, that's kind of like right when he was finally putting out shit. You know what I'm saying? Word. Because we waited for a while. You know what I'm saying? Shamrocks and machine guns and shit like that, yo.
Yeah,
you and Jay Roberts worked together a lot, right?
That was the first project we did. That's like the kind of only body of work we have together. So what did that? The 10 tracks. He came up with that title. He's Irish Canadian.
Yeah.
And so he hit me up for one track, one beat. And off that, kind of like talking and discussing what he wanted to do, I decided to work with him on a full project. From there, when he was talking about the people he wanted to work with, the kind of sound, it just made sense. And I'm very particular on who I work with, and they got to kind of match my energy of what how the hard work to put in, and he definitely does that. So shout out to Jay Roberts. But we had Jay Skeese on there.
Rashid Chappelle.
Rashid Chappelle. A-Son, Guillotine, that was the first single. So, that project turned out really well. Really happy. And it came with a lot of accolades as well. Like it hit #1 on Canadian iTunes. I just won Music Producer of the Year here in London, Ontario.
Nice. Congratulations. I wanted to talk about that. Congrats.
Yeah. So, Jay Roberts is the homie. He's out in Barrie. We've only met in person once, Ontario, I think Barrie's still 3 hours from here. So Ontario, it seems like
country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I lived in Barrie at one point.
Whoa, hold on.
There's a huge Molson factory in Barrie.
Molson country?
Yeah.
There's a huge Molson brewery.
I was about to say, is that
Molson beer?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. I figured like you were saying, like kind of like, in America, you got Bud Light Land, Coors Light Land.
Coors is Colorado.
Budweiser
right?
country.
Yeah. So, when you drive through Barrie and we had a cottage that was north of Barrie in Collingwood area. And so we used to drive through Barrie in the summer all the time. And there's this huge Molson brewery out there.
And they had a big shaping on like not just Barrie, but like Ontario too. Like there was it's literally still known. The One Long Weekend is now known as the May 2-4 because if one weekend it fell on May 24, so they just used it by a 2-4, and so it's like this whole.
Okay, they won't know what a 2-4 is.
Oh, it's a 24
so in
pack.
Canada, they sell cases of beer as a 24 pack, and we called them a 2-4. Okay. So you'd get a 2-4 for the party.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that in the song. I got to. I gotta say a 2-4.
All right. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well,
Toronto whore picked up a 2-4. That's easy.
I don't think people realize how big Ontario is, man.
Oh, Ontario's
Ontario is huge.
Every province in Canada is huge. It's just everything's populated down towards the border.
Yeah.
The golden banana.
The golden banana.
That's what they call it. Yeah, that's what they call it. Or maybe the golden. I mean, that might be over in Europe, but something. It's called the golden. Maybe the golden crescent. But that's basically. I think it's 98% of you guys' population lives, like within an hour or 2 hours of the U.S. border. Essentially, like all of your most populated cities, they form like a crescent or something.
It's weather related. Trust me.
The U.S. Yeah, exactly. It has to do with latitudes and all of that.
There are areas in the Midwest, like Calgary and Airdrie, Canada, like they get like negative like 30 degrees and shit.
Yeah,
and I mean they're not that far north. I mean, it gets fucking crazy cold.
And driving conditions too, because so a lot of it will probably have to do with like, commerce and shipping and everything like that. Yep. But yeah, like I've driven through the Rockies and like almost died. Like that's just it's gnarly.
Oh, shit.
It's gnarly out there.
Yeah.
So that's they probably the golden banana, as you say, is probably to avoid that. And then like you said, Carlos, it's probably weather related too. Like I learned, like most of in cities, most of the poor areas are on the east side, and that's because the way the wind goes. So if there's ever like something gnarly, it will go to the east first, and then to the so the people that are rich in the west would get it hit last.
Wow.
So using the poor people as windshields, that's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's all about, baby. That's what it's all about.
Look at the map right now. In Manitoba, Alberta, with Edmonton is there. Correct? Am I wrong?
Edmonton is in Alberta,
yeah.
British Columbia, Quebec. I'm looking at all this shit, yo. It just seems Canada seems kind of weird how they dip down. And why the fuck did we not like have that? Why is that not America?
Because that was the treaty of the war from 1812 when we beat them or beat England, because they were still the Dominion of Canada and they were a Dominion, a territory of the UK the England the English Empire. Basically, we settled.
But didn't Canada burn down the White House? We burned down the White House.
No, the British did, not Canadians. The British did. Don't you British can't claim that
from Canada? Yeah,
stop it.
Yeah,
stop it.
It was Canadians.
The best you guys did was that John Candy movie when you guys invaded Niagara Falls.
The best we did, and Wayne Gretzky.
Stop it. Of course, and Wayne Gretzky.
Y'all definitely should have kept Michigan.
No, man.
Y'all can have Michigan.
Talking about.
I mean, they went like this. Why
are you giving up Michigan? Hey, man, you fucking up, Mickey.
I'm just saying.
You
think
he's just talking about a clean line. If you were going a clean line,
they
could chop that up.
It's one side of the lake and the other side of the lake. It
clean line. We would have kept Toronto and everything. A clean line. We would have kept Toronto and everything. Yeah.
No, it makes more sense. Like if anything, we should have kept everything up to like Newfoundland and everything on the other, like the bottom side of Maine, the top side of Maine.
Y'all can just have Quebec. You guys can have all of Quebec.
That's so unfortunate because honestly,
we don't want Quebec. You guys can have Quebec. Keep Quebec.
I love visiting Montreal though.
I love Montreal too. Yeah, Montreal feels like
Quebec.
Yeah,
Quebec City's really fucked up.
We got Chong. We'll take Quebec.
And that's where Steve and Malenko are from the All Time podcast.
Montreal too. Carl Jr. and Chung.
Carl Jr.
Y'all Americans, yo. Y'all Americans.
Shout out Steve. Shout out Malenko.
Shout out, yo.
Fellas?
Well.
Nicholas Craven's from Montreal too, Quebec. So
yes, he is. Yep. Yes, he is.
The homie Slick Jack, who's been making some moves lately. I got a track with Slick Jack in Montreal.
Tell me more about Slick Jack, because I've noticed him popping up a lot more in my Spotify algorithm, and I saw that y'all were kind of connected. So I didn't realize he was from up in Montreal.
Yeah,
I thought he was from New York or something.
He hit me up random. I was doing an Instagram live, and I think he just saw people I was connected with, and he had already like Shea Uno and some of those guys.
Yeah.
And then
Shea Uno. Kingdom Come.
And then he just messaged me. Was like, yo, I have an acapella. Can you make a beat around it? And so I was, always interested in a challenge. So he sent the track we got out, Every Bullet. That was he just sent me the acapella and I just built the beat around it. It turned out really dope.
Oh, that's dope.
We haven't done anything since, but I mean, it's not to say we haven't. But he had done, I think he'd done a project or some work with Static Selected before that, and it was kind of just like slow. I don't want to say slow rising because again, Canada's so big that like I find this often is people in like BC will be like, yo, Mercules is the best in Canada, but they can't name any other rapper from anywhere else in the country. So, I think Slick Jack he's just hit a point. I think everyone just kind of hits this point of light switches. You do it and you go full steam, or it's like you taper off. I think Slick Jack hit that switch where he's like, okay, I'm going for it. Because I've definitely seen him and applaud him for the kind of run he's been on since we dropped Every Bullet.
Cool.
What's up? Now let's talk about this guy from around Primo Jab's way. Well, Primo Jab's new way. You got an album with Joe Sig.
Yes.
I came across him on Pack of the Plug. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, but yeah. That's why I heard Pack of the Plug introduced a lot of people to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
He does good work.
So, he does.
He does really good work.
Pack of the Plug.
Yeah, he's always on top of it. Yeah. He's definitely built a platform. So shout out Pack of the Plug. But
I don't even know the science behind that.
I mean, I reached out like when I was kind of
how you mean? Yeah.
When I was coming up, I saw a Pack of the Plug and I saw Griselda stuff being played on there. So I just reached out and was like, yo, how can I get my stuff on there? And I think a lot of people do the same. We all see these outlets, similar how I reached out to you guys, I saw you guys were doing what you were doing and I was like, well, I want to be a part of that. So thankful and blessed to be here. But yeah, Joe Sig reached out off YouTube. He came across my beats on YouTube and was like, yo, I think I got something on this. And I was just like, send it over. Let's hear it. I didn't make any promises and I thought it was dope. Joe Sig, I think, is a very talented artist. If out of a lot of the people I work with, I could see him the way, and I've told this to him, so I'll say it here. Of all the body of work and music I've released with Joe Sig, it almost feels like demos. And I feel like those demos should be used for a label. I could see Joe Sig being a label rapper.
Wow. Nice.
And that's what, you know what I mean? Like when he writes his subject matter, his personality, he's just like, I think he's got to find his one thing, and I think when he does, I think it will all, like the pieces will all come together. But him and I had a lot of conversations online and video calls and Joe, like, we've never met in person, but he's really a homie. But I think he's very talented. I could see him definitely being a label artist.
Nice.
He's a young dude, huh? He's a young dude, then, huh?
No, I think he's our age. He's got like 4 or 5 kids. He's got like a little militia of kids.
Dang, yo, he got
same with Jay Roberts. All these guys got like I got a cat, and all these guys got like 5, 6 kids. I'm like,
I got a cat.
I don't know how y'all do it.
Your pull-out game is excellent, man. I'm looking at a picture right now. He look like he's my cousin or some shit. Word. You never know how old black people is, yo. You never know. Yeah. So crazy as fuck, yo.
Are you saying Carl and I are like 85?
I mean, I could be.
No.
I'm 30.
I got that smooth blend going on my camera right now, so you can't see all the wrinkles. But
I'm 39, but people still think I'm in my 20s. Like I get people like,
hey, you look like it. Hey,
when you get here, then it's like, oh, okay, now I see it.
Yeah, bro, you still look.
I'm saying I crack.
It's dopamine, man. It's dopamine.
I don't see Carl looking older, like 50. I don't see Carl as 50. Yeah, but neither 51. People don't think I'm 40. 51, yeah. Happy birthday, Carl.
Thank you.
We made it, yo. Where? People don't think I'm 30. Oh, I'm not 30 nothing, bro. I'm 41. Holy shit. Holy shit, yo. I need to work out, man.
Hey, man. Hold on, man. Thank you, Lukey. Anyway, so we've glazed over a portion of this that I don't want to go without the proper pomp and circumstance. And Lukey, like usual, just likes to bullshit and talk about the unimportant stuff of the past. Let's talk about the present.
Congratulations. Joe shit was 2024.
Thanks, Lukey. Congratulations to you for winning the producer of the year in London, Ontario. Talk about that, man, because that's an illustrious thing. That's a big deal, right? And I feel like that's one thing, like you were talking about earlier, where you kind of have this feeling that Canada or certain parts of Canada is just kind of pockety, right, as far as their support. Mm-hmm. But I think that's a major accomplishment for you to be nominated and to win such a prestigious award, especially being in the lane that you're in, being in this world. Like, what song got you considered? How did they like treat you that night, the award night? You were fresh up there. You were in your red and black. You was, you was out there clean and everything, man. Like, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So the whole thing was, I tried applying the year before, but I don't think they knew I was back in Ontario. And I applied for hip hop artists because, like, yes, I'm a producer, yes, I'm a beat maker, but I truly treat myself more as an artist. Like, you go to my Spotify and streaming like that, like I have, more, and numbers aren't everything, we know this, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I have more of a presence than a lot of artists do, like when we're talking rappers. But I didn't get in the first year, and then this year I was like, for me, everything's like I just got to keep adding to the resume to keep doing. You got to keep the momentum, the perpetual motion going forward, right? So I was like, hey, I want to get a nomination on my thing. Like, that was it was a big goal of mine, but I missed it. I missed it because the first ones are like, I'd set my like calendar, and when I was like, oh shit, it's done, because there was all this voting. Luckily, the producer one is done separately. So the hip hop artist, the DJ of the year, that's all done by voting. The music producer of the year, you got to submit a song. So I submitted Guillotine with Jay Robertson, A. Sun Eastwood, and I submitted Better Days with Jay Roberts, Elbiz, Rashid Chappelle. And I chose those two. Guillotine did a lot of numbers. It did a lot of, it was a great sounding track, more in our lane. You know what I mean? Like, Better Days was a little bit more friendly, right?
Yeah.
It's a little softer, and so I kind of played the balance there. And the song they chose was Better Days. So that got me in there for the nomination. And when I got that word, big thing I keep saying is about marketing is like, okay, a lot of people here in London, what I've noticed is they take it for granted. And I think it's a very cool thing. Like you said, Primo, like, there's no other awards in Ontario except for Southwestern Ontario, London, Ontario. So that's very cool. And they've been doing this for 22 years. So shout out to Marcelli for doing this. They have like a whole, Hall of Fame as well. Like, because there's like, there's some interesting music events that have happened in London, Ontario. So, submitted, got nominated. Decided to make a big event out of it. Like, I wanted people to feel like I got nominated for a Juno. I want people to feel like I got nominated for a Grammy. Like, the social media, that was my goal. So I went out and I bought a red suit. It was an ode to Kanye West's VMA performance of Runway. A lot of people kept calling me dope. A lot of people were calling me Suge White, but I mean, I'll take it. It is what it is. But it was an ode to Kanye. And when you hear my speech, so I didn't know I was going to win. I had no idea. And I was up against, there's like King Cruff, who's a little bit more radio friendly, pop, like what's current. Now, when I sent in my application, they said, just send in 2 songs. Like, that was it. And I was like, you want me to just send in 2 songs? Like, do you know how much shit I did last year? I was like, there's no way I'm just sending in 2 songs and not telling you everything that I did last year. So I sent in the 2 songs and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I also released all this music. I also volunteered here. I also did, I sent in this whole like big thing. But yeah, in the end, had a bit of a hint. The Mario, who's the guy who runs it, I go, hey, Mario, I see these seats are reserved. Like, is that for the nominees? He's like, no, that's for, people getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. Oh, but you're nominated, so you might want to sit close. I was like, okay. So I was like sitting there. I was like, shit, like, what if I win? So I had to I was sitting next to my family. I was very blessed to have my family with me, my mom, my dad, my brother, my dad's wife. So they were all there, to support, which was very cool. But I closed my eyes and I just like imagined start to finish, like walking up there, everything I would say and that. So I tied in the red suit to Kanye, and then I threw in the quote he did from his awards. So I used that. That was all planned for marketing too. Because when I posted that clip online, it did like I don't want to say went viral, but like it got a lot more engagement than usual. But people were like, "That's corny." Blah. And like the thing is though, if you're not getting hate, you're not doing something right. That hate just adds to engagement, right? So people would be like, "This is corny." I'd be like, "Oh yeah, which part?" Or and then they like keep interacting with you, and then keep showing it to more people, right?
Gotcha.
Exactly. And then it just makes you like realize why Kanye does a lot of the shit that Kanye does, right? Because if you're not doing that shit that gets people talking about you, like I could have just gone up there in a plain black suit, white suit, no one would like, I would have just blended in with everyone else. I could have not said that Kanye line. My speech would have sounded like everyone else. Oh, thank you, So I needed to make sure. I also did that. I was like, yo, I'm always behind the boards, like DJing or making beats. So I need y'all to do something for me. When I say y'all say imperative. So I had them do that 3 times. So again, I'm this dude in a red suit, and now I just had them say my name out loud 3 times. So next year I'm moving forward. All these people in London, they're gonna know exactly who I am.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. And that's I definitely respect that approach, man. It's wild that you chose to do the Kanye thing. That quote was on fire that week. You used it, but then at the same time, what's his name? Not Jalen. Buddy from the Celtics used it. When they won the championship. He's like, I get, I've always, people were gonna say, what was the quote? He said, I always had the moment like, what if I didn't win? I guess we'll never know, or something like that. And it's like, yo, I mean, you tied yourself into history right there.
And
but making all the pomp and circumstance.
That's Jesus there. So, and then you can see.
So you a big Ye head, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So a couple things there. Like for me, it's like if Ye says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And that was like, so it's like bigger than the music for me. It's like, if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And that's like the mentality I needed to have. Like when I started making music and hip hop, I kid you not, like I was working in a snowboard shop and I was like, yo, like I just had my eye injury. I have an eye patch on working in a snowboard shop. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to get into hip hop. And people literally straight up laughed to me in my face. Right. So Ye was like this, like beacon of like, I can do whatever I want. He was like that person that was able to like be like, that's the mentality I need to have to go forward with this is I can do whatever I want. I can get on whatever podcast. I can get in whatever magazine. I can, you know what I mean? Like that's the mentality I kind of drive with. And I'm, I don't wait for any opportunity and I always make my own opportunities and I'm just going to keep going with that. So that's what Ye means to me, so.
I agree. I was a big Ye head starting out, like hearing the mixtapes, and I was the huge advocate. You know what I'm saying? Then he dropped Heartbreaks 808s. Then it was all bad from there.
Oh no, bro! Stop it. I mean,
like it, bro.
Heartbreak and 808s and Heartbreak. That look,
I didn't like it, man.
Number one, I'm biased. Obviously,
from
Chicago. So there's a little
You're Wayne Gretzky.
That always has
You're
to
Wayne Gretzky.
Always has to. No, he's not. Stop it. No, we have this guy named Michael Jordan, man. Never ever.
He's not from Chicago.
Doesn't matter. He's from Chicago anyway. So yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask you, what are your top 5 Ye albums then? Since you're such a Ye head. Because Lukey instantly went to the hate on the 808 and Heartbreaks, and I got to tell you, man, Love Lockdown, that 808 and Heartbreaks album, oh my God! I mean, hey.
I ain't like Ye. I don't like him singing like a rapper. Go ahead, Peter.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm interested in this. I'm
I
so
like
interested.
808 and Heartbreaks.
I see him. I see you smiling, bro. It's gonna be interesting.
I'm gonna say My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy first.
It's 5. It's 5?
No, that's we're going backwards? Okay, that was my number one.
No, you can put it in whatever order you want. You don't have to put it in any specific order.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is number one. That's like that. That was great when I was kind of like getting into production, and that's what came out and like to sort of set a bar musically. You know what I mean? All the bridges, the musical pieces in there.
Yeah.
Not in if you check some of my catalog, you'll see some of that influence. Like I get people to play piano solos, I get people to do guitar, and that's a lot of Ye influence. So My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy first.
Love it. Love it.
I want to say this was a tough one. I think like these ones are kind of like interchangeable. Like
He's gonna say.
I want to say late registration,
okay.
then college.
Okay.
That's they're kind of interchangeable for me.
Put them in the same era.
I really like this. Yeah. It's kind of similar sound, right? And like
Yeah,
interesting.
Definitely.
Okay.
I fuck with.
I like Yeezus.
I knew you. I thought you were gonna
Yeezus.
say that for number 4. Low key, I thought you were gonna say that for number 4. Like the 4th one you dropped. I thought you were gonna say Yeezus.
I think that is number 4. That is number. So you got
yeah.
Because
2 and 3 were interchangeable.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, boom, 4. Yeezus. I don't know why. I just
no. And actually, this could have maybe gone higher, but I don't know if this counts because it's kind of like a Watch the Throne, but that's like a Jay-Z Kanye song that counts in this.
Absolutely, that's
definitely
on. Counts.
Yeah, that was an iconic
that might even be up there. Yeah, that one's like crazy production on that one too, and in the rapping. So I still listen. There we go. Top ones right there.
Yeah. That's an interesting list.
Hit Boy's best beat. Hit Boy's best beat is on Watch the Throne. Black people in Paris of the Olympic Games.
Yeah,
the black.
That's
song
not the
title.
title.
I can't say. Carlin, I can't say.
Right. Yeah. That's not the
black. Shout out to all the black people in Paris this week for the Olympics. Yeah.
I don't know if that's his best beat though. I mean, it's turned out to be the best song, and I think that beat, if someone else had rapped on it and done something different with it, it wouldn't have been what it was. I think, it's a combination, like any song, really. It's a combination of all those elements. If Ye and Hove didn't do what they did on there, that beat would be nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And I just don't like Hit Boy like that. I think Hit Boy's like lukewarm boy. Lukewarm boy instead of Hit Boy. Hit Boy, like not a hit, like maybe like a jab or something like boy. Yeah, I don't really like
definitely
Hit Boy.
not a jab.
There's like one mixtape he did for his
my bad, Primo Jab.
Yeah. No, man. I think
now you gotta change your name to Primo Hit.
Yeah, right. Stop it.
Primo Knockout.
Why are you guys getting down on me because of my off of that?
I'm raising you up.
Trying to turn you up, bro. Trying to turn you up.
Thanks. Thanks, Imperative. Appreciate it, man. No, I think I just like those picks. They're pretty good. Each of those albums, I think, have their own sound to it. One thing about Kanye is he tries to transform each project. He definitely tries to push a boundary of himself, tries to push himself to the limit and tries to really be on something. Definitely that first one you named, the Beautiful Nightmare, that joint, Beautiful Dark Twisted, whatever. Yeah, that he was definitely on the rebound, trying to reinvent himself as an actual stadium killer for real. I'm surprised you didn't say Graduation at all, because Graduation to me is a dope album that had a lot of those type of big sounding songs on it. But that kind of led the way for that other album. Like I feel like it was sandwiched in between, but kind of forgotten.
Like,
you can't tell me nothing. Good Morning. I mean, there's some big Barry Bonds. Like there's some big ones on there. It's tough to make. It's tough to make a list of 5.
No, that's real. I put it down to one your list.
Yeah,
Jesus,
your
sounds
list
like
legit.
Death Grips. Y'all like Death Grips?
I know the name. I don't know much of it, but like I mean, that's like it hits like he transforms himself, but then he never does the same thing really twice. There's like maybe some sprinkles in, like people want to hear the old Ye or whatever, but I think Death Grips came out.
Let me see what I like. I'll tell you the one I like.
I think it says my internet. Am I frozen?
No, you're here.
Now, Luke, you might be frozen.
Okay. So I don't know if you've seen that one clip that's kind of going like being shared around a lot, and it's Rick Rubin talking to Ye, and he says, I think Primo's frozen now too.
No, I'm not. I was looking.
He's
researching. You see me? Yeah, I was researching. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
Keep going.
And Rick Rubin says, if it sounds like it should be on someone else's album, it can't be on your album. And I love that quote so much. Like,
that's dope.
And it makes sense when you're seeing for him as an artist, and something that's sticking out more in my mind now. Like I have some projects coming up that are still underground sound, but I always try and do some things different, like by, like I said, adding some guitar solos.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of conversations lately about not necessarily like leaving the underground behind, but just doing some different sounds. You know what I mean? Like as artists, we kind of get since like 2013, and I'll always go to sampling, but I want to push some boundaries a little bit. You know what I mean? I would love to have an album like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, like in my, but like in my own sound and in my own way. I had an idea for a longest time, maybe a bit morbid, but I wanted to create an album where I'd even maybe be rapping and like done and complete and on a USB stick and in like a safety deposit box. And it's like after I die, that album would be like pressed and you could actually use my ashes and press it into the vinyl, like leaving something behind. Like, so it's kind of like a crazy idea, but it's like, a lot of times we're just creating for the now, like, okay, create, put it out. But, this is something I really love and am passionate about. So I would like thinking bigger and beyond. And like, I want to do some things with, I wanted to do like an album where it's like got a full video to it that's actually projected on the ceiling of a planetarium. So when people come, it's like album release party where like they come to a bar, everyone's drinking, everyone's been there, done that, right? But people come to a planetarium, maybe, smoke some weed, eat some shrooms, and then they're like, lying down and staring up at the planetarium. There's like this whole like 3D video that's up on the top of the ceiling, right? Like I want to start getting into ideas like that and just pushing boundaries a little bit, right? So
that would be crazy.
You can do that. Yeah, you can do that.
And definitely attainable. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Quote is awesome quote, yo. I'm sorry I faded out to black. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I did. I faded, yo. I'm back.
It's all right. They don't know because they're listening. Boom. So you never have to apologize.
You right. That. Boom.
And I always fix the video, so don't worry about it.
Right.
Act like they never left.
So what's the next project you like? I never left because I really didn't. I was just sitting here. Hey, yo,
I know what the next project is, man.
Next project,
spill the beans.
I mean, it's him and G4 Jack.
With G4 Jack. Yeah, project's called Alive. We're just waiting on some features to come in, but we got our part done between him and I, so we're just waiting on some features to come in. That's 12-track full project. We also have a project that's kind of like in the cut right now. Me, G4, and Black G's. But that was just kind of a bit on hold just because of some of the politics that are going on there. I'm not going to get into it. I didn't even know for the longest time. G4 is like, yo, we're not putting this project out. I'm like, what? And then it took me a while and I saw on social media. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. And then I got a project with Ason Eastwood. That one's called I Am That I Am. That one's, nice. I think, also like 12, 14 tracks. You follow up to Barrel Plots and Pyramid Schemes. So slowly working on that. I've got some features in for that one, and just I'm actually a lot further on that one than I thought I would be. But I've got Planet Asia, Snotty, Ason, Abe Links, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Abe Links.
I want to do something special with. Yeah, well, I want to do something special with that track because for obvious reasons, I'm gonna try and get Tully C on that one as well. Right now it's just Ason and Abe Links on that joint. And just to make things right, I'm gonna get Tully C on there as well. And then I want to maybe do something where they put it on a vinyl, like I did the Under the Scope, do it as an OITC release, and maybe do the money to his family or something. I didn't know him that well, but I just want to do right.
That'd be really cool.
By him. And so what else we got on there? We got Super Caliente on something. But yeah, slowly building high hopes and lucid dreams. I'm looking forward to that because that one will drop as like an individual thing. Then I'm going to package Barrel Plots and High Hopes together as well. Do something cool with that.
Word up. Shout out to Super Caliente, the New Levels, New Devils.
Yes, sir.
Album right there.
Caliente's been doing this.
There, yo.
I say underrated. I hate calling people underrated, but he is a really dope rapper. He was doing the battle scene like King of the Dot for a long time. So he comes from a battle rap background, so he can really rap. He's got them bars. He's got a very unique flow. He's in both. He was conflicted. He was Myron. He was the guy that West Side Gun shoots in the end. So he's active in that as well.
That's him. The dude was.
That's him.
Yo, you got.
He's the guy who gets pistol whipped by Benny. Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, shout out that dude then, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shout out
shit.
Caliente.
Yeah, shout out to yeah. That's it's pretty dope, man.
Hey,
He's not a
I
bad actor either.
also no, it wasn't a
He's
bad
not a
act.
bad
That
actor.
was a good scene. That
Not
was
at
a great
all.
cameo, man. He was very memorable
Yeah. Well,
for his small portion, his small role. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't want to get too far, man. Like talk more about this G4 Jag album though, man, because G4 Jag is another dude, Lord Mob representative. You
Lord
know, he's a
Mob.
dude that
Yep.
has been putting in a lot of work for a minute
Mm-hmm.
trying to make things happen. And you and him combining to do a full album, I think is about to catch fire because that single that y'all put out, the freestyle joint,
Mhm.
I mean, he was going
Stop.
insane on it.
Yeah,
That
man. I
shit,
mean, I'm glad you asked this because, like, sometimes you have things you want to talk about, and like you're just waiting
yeah.
for the opportunity. And this is something I really want to talk about. So G4 and I, like, we started
Talk
chatting.
your shit, please.
I want to say
Word
like
up.
late 2019. And how I came across, I hadn't even heard his music yet, but I just was going through Instagram pages and I saw his album cover with the cherub on it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had my logo that had a cherub. And I just
Yeah.
reached out, like just on a whim. I was like, yo, homie, I see your album cover with the cherub. I got this with a cherub. We should do a project. Like I hadn't even heard his music. Like, it was literally just like that. And he's like, oh yeah. And so we just started chatting. And then I heard his music. I'm like, okay, this guy's actually really dope. We started sending some beats and stuff, but I think it was slow. There's something to be said about like meeting people in person and like building like an actual, genuine relationship. And I think since then, that's something G4 and I have really built a connection with. I got to meet him in person for the first time this year, and I think it changed things. You know what I mean? Just giving that handshake, that dab, like yo, what up? Like it really changes the dynamic. And I got to see how he works. I went down there and I think he recorded 4 songs and then an extra verse for the A-Sun project. Like, man, and like wrote it on the spot. It wasn't like he had it written and just recorded. Like he was like wrote it, recorded, and it was like done. It was crazy to watch. The dude is super talented. Already out, he did a track with 448 Brad Piff, 222.
Okay.
Brad Piff.
Yeah, and then on the boards, which was in Barrel Plots and Pyramid Schemes with Stars Coleman. So a couple joints that were out. And if you actually scan G4's Instagram, I'm going to do a recap post, but I think he's done these freestyles over my beats that never came out. So there's been like this kind of like build up to this. And like you said, I think it is going to catch fire. Like, even for mine, like I can tell you this project, it's crazy. The beat select, G4, I don't want to speak for like a transition point. I think as an individual and an artist. So I'm really excited about this project. That I got with him. There's like 24-ish unreleased tracks like with G4 and I. So very excited to that. So Fly Family. That's what's up. Shout out to G4.
Yeah,
Definitely.
man. Shout him out, man. And like that connection. And again, you and Stars, y'all make some good music together too. I mean, honestly, I thought you were probably a part of Lord Mob halfway, just seeing that you and Stars were working last year, and then you and G4 were getting ready to put out the whole album this year. I was like, okay, yeah, this dude, he's definitely tapped in with the Lordies. So
yeah, not Lord Mob. I mean, I guess at this point, I guess I'm affiliated, but that's through G4. I mean, I'm definitely part of G4 Jags Fly family.
yeah, no doubt.
I know Flea Lord's tapped in, and then I mean you'll see kind of like interchangeable. Like sounds funny to say, but like the G right from Lord Mob and then in Fly family. So at the end of the day, it's a family, So I'm not directly Lord Mob, but shout out Flea Lord and I know Lord Mob. So, but who knows where things will go? Just keep grinding. I mean, I definitely respect what Flea has built with that platform. So shout out to Flea.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Shout him out, man. You're definitely going to benefit from it because this is just some more dope product that's going to come out and it's going to have them eyes automatically zooming in. But again, like I said, I feel like just off the strength of what you're putting together and the chemistry that you and G4 have and the work that he's putting with these freestyles over and like, because that, again, like I said, that last freestyle that he just did, oh my God, that shit on fire. Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say this.
So
I gotta say this too, and I gotta give it like man his flowers. Like I post on comments and that. I try and make sure people get the the where due credit is due, right? G actually sent me that sample. He's like, "Yo, can you loop this up for me?" And so he sent me that sample. I gave him 2 or 3 different versions, like sequence, and then so he went with the one that is out now. But yeah, that sample idea was him, and I don't know if anyone picked up on it, where it's from.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
no, where is it from?
People talk about sample snitching, but I mean, it's fairly easy to pick out. At the end, he's like, he even says, he's like, I'm just trying to make it like, give you the feeling like Beans is here again, and so it's a Beanie Siegel track.
Oh wow!
Stop, chill. And that's why the track's called Stop Chill.
Yeah, Stop Chill. Yeah.
It has that type of energy too.
Stop.
So that makes
chill,
sense.
bro.
Wow.
Yo, why did I not know that?
So I looped it, and then, like it was kind of a weird timing thing. So I chopped it and kind of made it my own, threw on some 808s. And then I threw on the end piece too. So it says stop and then it goes into it. So you kind of get that feeling. But yeah, that was G4's idea. So I just brought it to life for him.
That's what's up, yo.
He sent me a bunch of other samples too, but I'll admit, and if he's watching this, he'll maybe get it now. I have a hard time when people tell me to do things.
I feel you.
Telling me I'm like, nah. It's like,
yeah, you got to do your own thing, right?
You should check out Odd Future. Like I didn't listen to Odd Future or Tyler the Creator for the longest time. You're like, you should check him out. I'm like, nah, just because you told me to, I'm not going to.
You didn't miss anything.
I feel that, yo. I definitely feel that. Nah, you missed a couple good shits for Tyler the Creator and Odd Future, but all in all, Primo Jab is right. Yeah, man. Some of that shit was good. You ever seen the
episode of South Park when the duck was just talking and shit stains were coming out everywhere? Yeah. Anyway,
that's Odd Future. The fuck out of here. Goblin was good. Flower Boy was gay.
Anyway.
Earl sweatshirt album was fantastic. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about them motherfuckers no more.
Whatever, man. We don't care about
that. They
like
to rape women.
Oh,
true indeed. But what's the release? What's the release date? What's the release date for the?
We don't have one. We don't have no release date yet because we're still waiting on features. But Live from the Gutter had released the performance video of that track, so it just made sense to release it. Didn't want it to go cold, so that's kind of the official first single, but no exact release date. Would like it to be this year. I know, like I was chatting with G4 earlier today. We're talking about shooting some videos and wrapping up the features. So hopefully soon. I got a couple of masters. I got a couple
anticipated.
Yeah, but don't want to let it go cold either. So I know I got a couple of other tracks in my inbox, mastered and ready to go. I'm just not sure if they're ready to be released. And then likely after that, not sure when the Black G's G4 project will come out. We just gotta wait for things to cool down. And then Asun. But Asun and I have had conversations. That man's got a lot of music. He's got a lot happening. Family wise and big things. He's working a job now too as well, just to, so everyone's just grinding. But we had a conversation as well, and the music we made, like that project, I'm really excited about as well. Like the tracks, when I go back and listen, and he's like, he hasn't heard them in like a year, and he's like, yo, these things, like these tracks are crazy. So like we both said, like the music we have there is classic. So even if it comes out in a year, like we're not really upset about that. I'll be honest, like I've only released 2 songs this year, so I mean I'm stressing a little bit. Like I personally want to be releasing far more music, but you got to kind of bend your schedule and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's especially tough nowadays because artists have so many projects coming out. It's kind of working through, when to not oversaturate stuff. And yeah, it's got to be a difficult situation.
You just said the word, Carl.
Yeah.
Saturation. Saturation is the buzzword of 2024. I mean, it's the other side of the coin, right? We've benefited from a lot of music coming out, and it's been great. There's been a lot of great music, but it's now getting to the point where You know, like when you're dipping a cookie in milk, you want it to be the perfect level of soggy, right? You know, you want the
You
perfect
don't leave it too
ratio
long so all the shit falls into
so
the
that it
bottom of your
falls
milk.
apart, right? Yeah, who wants that? You ruin the milk at that point, right? So it's
You
getting
gotta
to
know.
that
You just
point,
gotta
man. We
drink
got
the
to
milk.
have balance.
Yes,
But yeah,
perfect
I mean,
analogy right there, pretty much. Yeah.
hey, man,
Yeah.
because I feel you on that. Like that's the struggle right now, halfway through 2024, or a little over halfway through 2024. I think a lot of people are feeling that. A lot of artists, a lot of producers, MCs, they're feeling like, yo, I'm really trying. I know that I'm working at a high level right now. I know I'm putting together some dope. I know that this is hot. But at the same time, how do I make this stand out in the future where we're all living in global warming and global temperatures have risen so high that everything is hot, right? There's so much that's hot right now. And it's not like saying that you're not confident in what you're doing, right? It's just accepting the reality of like, yo, the consumer or the fan or the you know the supporters, their attention is divided in so many ways right now.
Hard to
You
stay
know, that's
fresh.
all it is. It's not. It's hard to stay. It's hard to make that impact because it's like, yo, every week it's six projects coming out that are worth talking
Yeah.
about or worth listening to. You
Yeah.
know,
No.
And that
it's
because
it's wild, man. And you can market the fuck out of everything. You can do all the promotion and everything, man. And it's really coming down to, and I think we'll see this at the end of the year once people are talking about their lists and awards and all that type of stuff. It's really gonna come down to what people attach to moments in their lives, right?
That's
Things
right.
that, you know what I mean? Does that
That's a
make sense?
great
Yeah.
no, that's a great fact because throughout your life you can listen to songs and then go, oh, I remember that eighth grade dance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or oh, I remember that I wrecked a car and that's the song that was playing. Whatever it is, those
Yep.
moments stick with you. And now more than ever, that's important to stay relevant because, you
Mm-hmm.
know, if you're not dropping 4 projects, 5 projects a year, you know, people
you're
stop
forgotten
thinking
about.
about you because there's so much stuff.
They
Yeah.
got, I
You're
mean,
bombarded.
if you're gonna do quantity over quality and you're just gonna flood, that's one thing. Yeah, you're gonna be forgotten. Your name might ring like, oh yeah, I know you put out a bunch of stuff. But if
Yeah.
you're gonna do a quantity of quality, you can be acknowledged like a crime apple, right? Like Maze Overlay right now, right?
Hmm.
People that are putting out multiple projects and it's like, oh yeah, each one stick in a different way. Um, but then you got people like, you know, Rock Marcy. Rock Marcy put out just Marciology this year, right? And whenever he
Mhm.
drops,
Yeah.
it's, you know, people got their ears ready.
Pandemonium. Yeah, they got a fan base though.
Yeah, that's true.
One thing is to get that fan base, we are not only competing with uh, us. We're not really competing because we're all homies, really. But we're not only competing with people in our lane, competing with the commercial shit too.
Yeah.
People in this lane like to listen to Drake and Tim's and um, all this other music, Taylor Swift and
Yeah,
Kendrick and yeah, and they
everything.
like different stuff. So we have to say everything. So marketing is key. Just like you putting on that red suit, yeah, boom. It's
But
time
that
you
was
gotta put the
making a
red suit
moment,
on. You
Yeah.
know
man.
what I'm saying?
That was
Well,
separating yourself from the crowd, man, and you did it there.
There you go.
I
And
think a lot of
you hit
like
it on the head. Pause.
I think a lot of I think a lot of it is like people like dropping so much music. I think it will pay off in the long run. I don't think you're going to see as much
Yep.
gain from the start, but the thing right now it's digital real estate. King of all of this would be currency, right?
Yes.
Like, right? I mean, I'll be honest though, the one thing it's doing is it's eliminating like those key songs, right? Like the single major standouts. Like it's hard to remember. Like my own personal listening habits are this: release Friday comes out, I go on Spotify, I go on Release Radar. I'm like, oh, okay, Crime Apple, Benny the Butcher, click add to playlist. I have two or three major playlists, and I'll listen. If it's an album, I'll listen to it once through, then it's on my playlist. Like I like a variety, so I'll just hit shuffle, and so I'm getting everyone. And that's just my own. Yep. I don't know if everyone listens to that, but you know, watching a lot of these marketing and music people, like albums are kind of done in a way, you know what I mean? And I'll even say from my own release strategies, like Under the Scope was a single. And I saw the most kind of return on that. Now, yes, it had Benny the Butcher and Rick Hyde on it. That's a big component. But like you talked about the Red, it created a moment. There was merch, there was vinyl, there was prints, right? Everything was there was the stage for this one song, and listeners didn't have to divide their attention across an album of 12 songs. That's the other thing. A lot of artists, like especially in the underground, I noticed like I've done a lot of research and homework on how this streaming stuff works and how to best do it. And a lot of people haven't. They'll just release a full album, right? And in the back end, Spotify and the distributor lets you pitch one song. So if you have released an album of 12 songs and you pitch one, you're giving a stage to one song of 12. So that one song may end up with 10,000 streams and all the rest have 2,000.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So that's where they say singles are kind of like the better way to go, especially if you don't have an audience, because you're putting a stage on one. You're not dividing people's like attention across, even if it's not like. I still love building an album, right? So like I have songs on the G4 project where it's like this ain't really a single by label standards, you know what I mean? But we might still release it as a single because we want to give it that opportunity, that organic growth. But if we just release it on the album without like releasing it like a single, it's not going to get heard as much. So trying to like think about all that stuff, it gets very daunting. If I was to release something today, the way I would do it is I would release it on vinyl first, on like Bandcamp or like I get my own platform, get the vinyl now. I would let it sit for 2-3 months. The people that bought the vinyl, they get to have it. They get to listen to it for 3 months.
Play it.
Slowly roll it out on streaming. That would be the ideal sort of strategy, in my opinion, to do it. You capitalize on the physical sales, and then you slowly capitalize on releasing the singles and building that streaming.
I totally agree. I feel like we're rediscovering fire at this point. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, we evolved to a state, right, where this digital streaming and digital medium of instant gratification, which was at first like a boom, right? Was at first, it's great. You can have access to this music whenever you want. Oh, that's great. Yeah. It then backfired on the artists because now people don't value the creative process enough where they're not listening to this song, like the quote unquote single, as a part of the whole anymore, right? It's not coming on to the album and you hear it, like Rich Ash Haitian, for example. It came out, I hated it. When I hear it in the context of the album, I like it a lot.
It's like, oh shit,
I like it a lot, and I gotta hear the album. I'm somebody who I also put things on shuffle, and when I hear a song come up, I'm like, oh damn, what album is that? Oh wow, okay, that makes me listen to an album, and I want to hear how it all comes together, right? And I think you just hit it dead on the head. This is what a lot of artists are understanding again, is that we gotta kind of tease people now. We can't really give ourselves to them right off the jump anymore because, number one, again, people think music is disposable now. They think the creative process is nothing. It's been a quote from the fucking bastards at Spotify. They feel, and this is from the billionaire CEO, might I add, he feels that it costs nothing to make music, so why should I pay them? Why should I pay them a fair royalty? So the revolution to that has to be that, we start doing only physical releases through something like a Bandcamp, or preferably we all make our own domains and release it straight to consumer. You know, exactly. Release it straight to consumer, let them have it for 3 months or whatever, and then, like you said, then release it to streaming. So it's a gift and a curse, man. It's a wild game right now, man.
Well, and what it is to build a better mousetrap. And it's been that way. It's going to continue to be that way. It started out with people that could make records, just basically robbing people of their talents and making money. And then artists got to a point where, they were fighting for their percentages and ownership of their songs. And then the record labels changed shit up again. It's, every time something happens, there's a workaround. People start figuring out the algorithm. People start figuring out, okay, well, then, right. If I can only feature one song on the album, then I'm just going to release one song each time. And that's the one that gets featured. And, along the way, as people start being successful and that starts spreading, they'll find a way to block it or, fuck it up for us again. And that's all right. We're going to find a way around it again. These are just temporary barriers.
So indeed. Now, what was it, a known or unknown? Let me know in the comments. I don't know if you're familiar with what I guess. That's my commie. Zotanica.com.
What are you saying?
Great.
I thought Lucky was having a stroke. Yeah. Is that no or the no? The unknown no?
Daddy juice. That's that daddy juice.
I'm like, the what? What's a no?
Let me know. Was it a known or unknown? Let me know in the comments. Alchemist made fun of it. Also, I totally agree with you. Czarface does. I sold the album 3 months before it came out on streaming. You didn't know what it looked like. You couldn't even buy it if you ain't bought shit off that website. But there's always ways around it to break the rules. And shout out to the homies. He definitely has it figured out. But I am not buying a record for $200 or $300 or $1,100, whatever. Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, if I was Elon Musk, I'd buy all the records.
Well, it depends on the artist. Maybe there's one artist you might, right? And that's why, like, the big thing, like, they're talking about right now is building community, right? And so maybe it's limited down. What if there was only 20 albums, and those 20 albums were $200, and you had an opportunity to be one of those 20 people? Maybe you don't want to, but there's likely going to be 20 other people that, right? Like, the one thing I relate a lot of marketing ideas to is that one Wu-Tang.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
But they made one. The market. There's a book about it from the guy, Civil Rings. Silver Rings.
Silver Rings.
Yeah. And they talk about all his marketing ideas that went behind it. And like the one thing they didn't do is that I thought was really cool was they to travel that album to, I think it was like art galleries up and listen to it, right? And so people would line up and listen to it. They couldn't bring in their phones and stuff. Then it becomes this myth, like, yo, I heard it was crazy, and you're just talking about it, right?
That's
I think like ideas like that, there that you can do to build that, and like building a community around what you're doing. On eBay, apparently one of the under this is going for like $400. I made that like that was like that's crazy to me. I was selling those for $25, and then someone's on eBay selling that for $400. Gives me ammo now is for the next OITC release. I can sell a one of the tests for more, maybe $200. You know what I mean? And someone out there might be a collector or be like, I want a piece of that, right? But I think there's other things you got to build around that too. You build that story. If you're just like, yo, here's a vinyl, that's whatever. But it's like, yo, I put my like blood, sweat, tears into this. I got my favorite artist on this. That's one thing I've always tried to express in my music is the stories. Like when I did my first EP, Full Circle, my major feature on that was Mickey Fax. My last snowboard video before my eye injury, I used a Mickey Fax song in that. So there's like all that time. So it's very, very special to me. And when I express that to my audience, people buy in. Like that's cool. That's cool. He's doing what he wants. He got the artist that was on his song, getting Benny the Butcher on there for my audience. For a lot of other people, like I have two separate audiences, I want to say, like the underground niche, and then I have the people that supported me from Vancouver and the people that know me and from that scene. And so when they see me like doing things like, getting features from Benny the Butcher and that, to them, they're just like, he's pursuing his dream and he's doing his thing, and that's what they want to support. I think that's been a big thing about my story. I'm very transparent about my wins and also my losses. Like I'll say to like, oh, like I didn't get this, or I get as much on this, or it didn't do as well, whatever it might be. I'm very transparent on that. And I think people want to be a part of that journey. So it's building that community around that. So
definitely.
Absolutely. Yep.
True indeed. Carl, what else we got, bro?
So I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but I kind of want to tag on that point. The building the community kind of aspect was why we wanted our format to be the way it is. We wanted to be able to talk about the not always as important stuff, Primo Jab, because it lets our fans and your fans know more about who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And to me, when we can strengthen those connections that we have with fans and interact with them on a deeper level, I think it gives you that core base of fans that can sustain you as an artist. You don't have to have 20,000 or 50,000. You need 500 that fuck with everything you do.
Exactly. They're willing to spend $100.
Yep. So, I think you're somebody that obviously gets that. Obviously being a Canadian, super proud that you're repping the underground the way you are. But overall, I just think that, the success you've had is because of the work that you put into it. And that's why you're going to continue to be successful. So I really, really appreciate you coming and fucking with us today.
I appreciate y'all having me on here, like for real. I can't remember when I reached out because I saw what you guys were doing and I saw what you were building and I really respected that. And I don't wait for any opportunities. So that's why I wanted to reach out and I'm glad to be here. And timing is everything. And I think this is the right time. I think there's a momentum right now in my stride. And I like being self-aware of these things as well. And I think when I initially reached out, it was building, but I think there's now a little bit more momentum in things. I think you guys have had an opportunity kind of from that point, like to see all the things that I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve and who I'm trying to work with. And so I just had a community and like another platform was like OG Press Records. I just had the interview there, which was like another cool thing. Yep. Like I'm all about like checking boxes. You know what I mean? It's like, this is a check box. Like, I think you guys are one of the dopest podcasts out there for the underground. So, box check, getting an interview in a magazine, check, winning an award, check. And it's just like, keep doing a project with G4 Jag of Lord Mob, check. You know what I mean? Like, yep. And it goes beyond, a lot of us are I'll talk about the things some people don't want to talk about, but like a lot of us are trying to punch up, right? It's like everyone wants to work with their idols and who they're looking up to, right? And it's always just getting that one opportunity. And so, G4 is a bit of a punch up and he's giving me that opportunity. You know what I mean? And I think people are going to see, and by like the Benny the Butcher track I put out, I was punching up there and like, I don't shy away from this. I paid for the feature. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't want to talk about, I would never pay for a feature. I'd only do straight collabs only. See, like I said, I don't wait for any opportunity. It's a music business. You know what I mean? It's called the business for a reason, right?
That's right.
And so I made a business decision there and I did all the math. I made like a small mini business plan for that full release. My whole goal there was to prove that I could hold my own as a producer and sound and as a, business to do that. And I mean, I was hoping that they would see that, and be like, okay, this like, because I know Benny and Rick High were probably getting annoyed as fuck the amount of times they're getting tagged in that project. Someone brought to the meet and greet in Toronto one of the vinyls for Rick High to sign. He was probably like, yo, like what? It was a feature he did. You know what I mean? And I mean, I was hoping something would come from that, but like timing is everything, and G4 is giving me an opportunity. A-Sun, we did IF Sadiq, and he, after working with me on IF Sadiq, he reached out after. He's like, yo, I want to work with you more. Cause like we had like an IG DM and it's like, I did all the mail outs and send outs and we were getting on all these blogs and platforms. And he's like, yo, like you were like, I had a folder for all the release, like the graphics and promotional things. And he's like, that's the type of guy I want to work with. Right. So I think when people give you the opportunity, you have that opportunity to keep climbing and growing and that. So, yeah.
That's dope.
Kind of went off on a bit of tangent there. So
that's great.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. You're supposed to get your nut off when you get here. Pause. Pretty much that what we got.
First off, let me just start off by saying when I go on to my outbursts of passionate rhetoric against Lukey, I do appreciate the attention to detail that he does pay, meticulously going through your past and bringing up the things, the steps that you took to get here. And again, that's just me messing with Lukey and adding a little hot sauce to our gumbo that we got here. But I don't ever want it to come off dismissive or disrespectful, like I'm not appreciative of the.
He's lying, man. We gonna get off
the effort. For real, I'm saying.
We're gonna drop the hockey gloves. We're gonna drop the hockey gloves, man.
Whatever. And then we'll go have some ice cold Molson, eh? But anyway. You see what I'm saying?
But talk about it, eh? Talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get hosed, eh? Whatever, But
that hoser.
See, I'm talking.
Oh, you're a hoser,
I'm talking.
We'll get a 2-4 and we'll all be good.
Hell yeah,
2-4. Yeah, we'll do that. But no, I
babes. Yeah, we're not gonna butcher the babes.
Hey, no. We'll butcher the babes, man. I mean, I'm married. I can't butcher it. I mean, never mind. Anyway, So look, fam. Look.
Here's the other thing. Molson did. Molson did the
2-4. Yeah. No, I never had a
Molson did the
2-4. They big.
They also did a Bubba. So it was a mini keg. So as a teenager, we'd all buy these mini Bubba kegs and we'd be dying in a field somewhere.
Heineken used to sell those mini kegs too.
I used to love those. I put them in my sink when I'd be out on the road. Put them in the sink in the hotel room.
Bill with ice.
Oh man, yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, that was the move. Definitely.
Definitely. On the Canadian accent too. So I was down in Rochester, met G4, and he took me out for a nice steak and lobster. Though I wouldn't eat the lobster. The shit looks like aliens to me. But we're at this restaurant, and a server, she comes up to me and she's like, "Oh, you have an accent." I was like, "Dude, I'm from the South." I was like, "No, I'm from Canada. I'm up north." But yeah. I asked you for it. Do I have an accent? He's like, "Oh yeah, you got an accent, eh?"
A little bit, but that's cool though, man.
Say, lie, you're from Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta.
I'm from the south of Canada.
The deep
yeah. Oh shit, real shit.
Yeah, I'm from the south of Canada, baby. Yeah, but no, I mean, like I said, man. I appreciate you being patient with us and taking some time to come out and come kick it with us because, like you said, man, I mean, we've been talking since May. I was looking back through the messages. May of 23 is when you first talked, right?
Wow.
And here you are now. Like you said, things have really been lining up since then, and everything works out the right way, man. It's been uncanny that when we finally get to talk to people that it's right around when they have something really starting to bubble up or a lot more has been bubbling up.
Yeah, and your scheduling has been on point.
Yeah, man, it's hey man, it's not me, man. It's a higher power, man. We're all connected, but it just goes to show that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and we're here to celebrate people that are really making their strides, really out here connecting in this abyss ecosystem that exists, man. And I just can't over explain how important it is that we celebrate every milestone, every victory that people in this ecosystem make. So for you taking over and being the producer of the year in London, Ontario, that's dope. That's something in the history books now. And that's going to put eyeballs on everything that's going on in this era that you're connected to. You're on the other side of the border. You're a staple over there. I encourage you. I can't wait to see you working with A-Sun and that project come out. I can't wait to see who else you building with up there and getting this others, this whole thing cracking on that side. I just want to keep seeing you grow up and glow up. Get on your Kanye, man. It's gonna be dope when we look back, when people are looking up your name and they see this interview after your wild Grammy rant, your wild Juno rant, you know what I mean? And they're gonna find your name and here you were on this, man. And yeah, it's a part of the journey, man. I'm glad that you appreciate the journey. I didn't realize you had an eye injury. I just thought you were a cool motherfucker with two different color eyes. So, I thought that was
the two color eyes. That's real. Like that's from birth.
Oh, that's not an injury. Yeah. See, I was thinking that was from the eye injury or something.
From the injury. No, I was born that way, and I'm deaf in my left ear as well.
Oh wow,
and that's just from birth. So I'm a music producer with.
That's epic. That's epic, man.
Everything's
Beethoven
in mono.
Was deaf. Hey, Beethoven was deaf.
Shit.
Beethoven's one of the greatest composers the world knows, and he was deaf, and he was an innovative person, and yeah, I can see the artistic power in you too, man. So thanks again for stopping by, man. Much success to you. Can't wait to hear more from you, man. Keep doing it. Keep pushing. Yes, sir.
It's imperative. Listen to the kid.
Definitely, man. Before we get out of here, I would like to tell you 100,000%. If my coach told me to go in and slash that motherfucker, I would have did that shit. It's episode 153. Yeah, John Chaney, what's up? You put me in the game, I foul out all the time. What up? It's episode 153 of the motherfucking Biz Podcast. We see y'all motherfuckers next week. Wow. Peace. Get my shoes.